There is a kind of power most people spend their lives chasing: influence, recognition, control, the ability to be seen, heard, and respected. And yet, the deeper you look, the more you realize that the way God defines power is completely different from what the world promotes. In fact, the strategy God uses to build real power often feels uncomfortable, misunderstood, and even avoided. It is not forbidden because it is wrong, but because it goes against everything natural instincts tell you to do. What if the very thing you have been avoiding is the key to the strength you have been praying for? The Bible reveals a pattern that is consistent, quiet, and deeply transformative. True power is often hidden inside processes that look like weakness. Let us begin with the story of Moses. Moses was raised in Pharaoh's palace, surrounded by privilege, education, and authority. He had access to the kind of power many would dream of. But in a moment of impulsive action, he killed an Egyptian and fled into the wilderness. What followed was not immediate restoration. It was 40 years of obscurity. Exodus 3:1 describes Moses tending sheep in the desert, far removed from the life he once knew. This was not a position of influence. It was a place of silence, routine, and humility. Then something unexpected happens. God appears to Moses through a burning bush. In Exodus 3:10, God says, "So now go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people the Israelites out of Egypt." The power Moses would eventually carry was not developed in the palace. It was formed in the wilderness. The lesson here is clear. One of God's strategies for building power is isolation and preparation. It strips away dependence on external validation and builds internal strength. In modern life, this can look like seasons where things feel slow, unnoticed, or even stagnant. But what if those moments are not setbacks but setups? Take a moment to reflect. Are you currently in a season that feels quiet or hidden? This might be the place where something deeper is being built. Now consider the life of Joseph. Joseph had a dream that pointed to greatness, but his journey was anything but smooth. He was betrayed, sold into slavery, and later imprisoned for something he did not do. Genesis 39:20 says, "Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined." This was not a position of power. It was a place of limitation. Yet even there, Joseph remained consistent. He served, he interpreted dreams, and he developed wisdom. When the right moment came, he was called before Pharaoh. In Genesis 41:41, Pharaoh says, "I hereby put you in charge of the whole land of Egypt." The years of delay were not wasted, they were necessary. The lesson here is that another strategy God uses is process over instant promotion. Power that lasts is built over time, not handed out instantly. In today's world, it is easy to compare your timeline with others. You see people advancing, achieving, and stepping into opportunities, and you wonder why your path feels longer. But here is the deeper truth. Rushed growth often leads to unstable outcomes. Process builds capacity. This leads us to a different kind of example, the life of Jesus. In Matthew 4, before Jesus begins his public ministry, he spends time in the wilderness. He fasts, he faces temptation, and he responds with clarity and truth. Matthew 4:10 records one of his responses, "Away from me, Satan, for it is written, 'Worship the Lord your God and serve him only.'" This moment reveals something powerful. Authority was demonstrated through restraint, discipline, and clarity. The lesson here is that self-control is a form of power. In a world that encourages instant gratification, the ability to pause, to choose differently, and to remain grounded is rare. Yet it is one of the strongest forms of strength. Think about your daily decisions. Where do you feel the pressure to react quickly? Where could discipline change your direction? Now consider David. David was anointed king long before he actually became king. In 1 Samuel 16:13, He is chosen, but his reality does not change immediately. Instead, he returns to tending sheep. Later, when King Saul begins to pursue him, David has multiple opportunities to take control by force. In 1 Samuel 24:6, David says, "The Lord forbid that I should do such a thing to my master, the Lord's anointed." David had the chance to accelerate his rise, but he chose restraint. The lesson here is that timing matters. Power that is taken prematurely often leads to consequences. Power that is aligned with timing is sustainable. In modern terms, this can look like waiting for the right opportunity instead of forcing outcomes. It can mean choosing integrity even when shortcuts seem easier. At this point, a pattern is becoming clear. Moses experienced isolation. Joseph experienced process. Jesus demonstrated discipline. David practiced restraint. None of these feel like traditional strategies for gaining power. In fact, they often feel like the opposite. And that is why many people avoid them. But here is the deeper perspective. God's approach to power is not about control over others. It is about mastery within yourself, alignment with purpose, and readiness for responsibility. In 2 Corinthians 12:9 it says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." This shifts the entire understanding of strength. What looks like weakness can actually be the foundation of real power. So where does this leave you? Take a moment to examine your current season. Are you resisting a process that is meant to shape you? Are you rushing something that requires patience? Are you overlooking discipline in areas that matter? These questions are not meant to discourage. They are meant to bring clarity. Growth does not always feel powerful in the moment, but over time, it produces strength that cannot be easily shaken. As we come to the end, remember this. The strategies that feel uncomfortable are often the ones that create the most lasting impact. Power is not just about what you achieve. It is about who you become in the process. Reflect on your journey. Identify one area where you can apply this perspective today. If this message resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments, especially which part stood out to you the most. Someone else might find encouragement in your reflection. Share this with someone who needs a shift in perspective. And continue with the next video in this series, where we explore how to build discipline and consistency for long-term growth. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. God bless you.